Johnny Nash's words as clear as ever. I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. Louisville City is home again, set to take on a Birmingham Legion side that is in their expansion season and off to a 2-loss start. Today's pregame presented by Four Roses Bourbon. Slugger Field finally clear of all the rain, 34 degrees. This is what happened last night, though, Matt. In total, it's a 15-hour rain delay.
Oh, Brew Squad doing their best to drive away the rain, but it wasn't to be. Yeoman duty from the grounds crew, trying to get the field playable, but Mother Nature had other ideas. She dumped up more rain in the area, precipitated profusely. The wind was blowing, and the referees finally said enough is enough. We'll try and get it done another day.
So you know, we came up with dozens of puns to use over the course of this broadcast. Hartford last week, it was a win for Louisville. The offense finally felt like it clicked.
Finally clicking. Rasmussen having a really stellar performance. Omi getting into the show as well. Connecting the passes in and around the box, which is something that was missing from the first week of action. It's finally coming together for the boys in purple, and that was one heck of a strike from Luke Spencer with the left boot for his first of the season. Be good to see him get back to his 2017 form after such an injury-plagued season last year. It's going to be important for the success of Louisville City for him to be able to get the ball in the back of the net. On the other side, the Legion, they've had their struggles. They've created in front of net, but they haven't found the back of the twine. And that's something that John Hackworth is really concerned about, because he knows that at some point a team as talented as the Legion are going to find a way to put the ball in the back of the net.
It's the earliest start time in the history of Louisville City. They're set to take on Birmingham Legion. As we welcome you into the broadcast today, it's brought to you by GE Appliances. Expansion side Birmingham in Louisville for the first time. A look at the starting lineups, and they're presented by UPSjobs.com. Matt, no changes for Louisville from what we saw last night.
You wouldn't expect to. It's going to be really important how those three in the midfield combine. Will Williams be the holding player, or will there be a rotation? We've seen McCabe last week playing the holding role, but there's got to be discipline from those three in the center area of the pitch. For the Legion FC, they've got a lot of players, a lot of talent all over the pitch. We've already highlighted Hoffman. Haribo in the midfield. He's going to look to try and control things for the visitors, and if Louisville aren't able to contain him, then he'll be able to pick the passes and really put Louisville under some pressure. Culbertson and Avila have to get forward as well.
As Tom Sohen leading the side in their first ever season. There were more fans here last night, but we will get this one in. The rain's gone, and we're finally ready to play 15 hours after the initial planned start time. Louisville City, Birmingham Legion, first ever meeting from Slugger Field in Kentucky. And a turnover to Brian Wright, who slips it through a bit too far.
But it is at the expense of going forwards. More of a diamond formation in the center area of the pitch. Makes the attacking formation very narrow.
Spencer trying to get through. Ball ricochets free. Van Oekel makes the save on Rasmussen. And McCabe fires it way over the bar.
Almost looked like McCabe had too much time. He was trying to shape his shot too carefully. Ends up leaning back and ballooning it over the crossbar. From the home team. Starts with Jimenez, header forwards. Laurent did well, but got really unlucky with the ricochet. But that's a fine save from Van Oekel off the foot of Rasmussen. And you can see the disappointment.
Kyle Culbertson allowed Johnson to strike. Williams over Haribo. Spencer knocks it ahead. Ownby. Davis making a run. Can Williams keep this alive? No. Jimenez. Davis. Options out in front of him. It's Rasmussen he picks out. Looking for Davis. Flies it high! And it's knocked wide. Niall McCabe at the back post, unleashing.
Lovely build-up on the counterattack. I love this ball played by Rasmussen over to the back post. At times I've seen some splashes on the ground from all that water that fell yesterday. So particularly on that infield area. They're doing a really good job of dealing with the adversity that they were faced with last night and challenging conditions.
Brian Wright, wide. Birmingham still in search of their first goal. Well, he stripped that away and walked in by his lonesome. That was a tough angle to try and beat Loon.
Another one of those sloppy passes. Jimenez getting the ricochet, going over his head. Craig was struggling.
Corner ahead for Louisville.
New City are able to connect the passes going forwards. They look dangerous. Got to avoid those sloppy ones that we saw moments ago that provide the cheap turnover, the cheap opportunities for Legion FC.
On the corner, headed down Sawahi. That's a great save, Van Oekel. Took that right off of Speedy Williams' foot and does not allow a rebound.
This is a fantastic save. Down quickly, down bravely. Great anticipation. You can see right here, he knows where the turn is coming, where the ball is probably going to go.
A little pick and roll off the referee. Does come back to Williams. Alexi.
It was a moving pick, wasn't it? Isn't that, that's not allowed.
It's an offensive foul. Davis playing it out in front towards Spencer. Came loose. Tosh trying to get by Johnson. There's the service. Rasmussen scores for Louisville. They're out in front, shy of the half-hour mark. And Rasmussen's incredible start to 2019 continues.
See it right here, freezes Johnson, creates the space, delivers the cross perfectly. And there is Rasmussen, timing the leap. The header was perfectly technically done.
That goal presented by Kentucky Lottery, fueling imagination, funding education, Kentucky Lottery. Second goal to go with 2 assists. And the numbers aren't staggering, but what Magnus Rasmussen has done this year. Breaking in, Kasim! The first goal in Birmingham history is a beauty! The Legion level it less than a minute after the last goal. Welcome to the championship, Birmingham Legion.
He pops out to this right side. Lou City are asleep. Jimenez is not in position, and that is really well done. Anticipating the ball, perhaps a right-footed shot across the face of goal. And Kasim with lovely skill, the outside of the left foot, just puts it into the roof of the net.
Throw coming for Tosh, a champion in Rochester and a champion again last year in Louisville. Rasmussen waiting, now slipping through. Ownby, and it's right at Van Oekel. Van Oekel firing this away to Prosper Kasim. And Wright crossing, the chance is in! It's Chandler Hoffman feeling at home again in Louisville. The Legion have their first ever lead.
Finding the ball out wide to Wright, and that is a fantastic ball across, but this was not easy from Hoffman. Places it perfectly. Puts his teammates on his back. Kasim, the scorer of the first, celebrating with Hoffman. That was a fine effort from the former Lou City man.
15 goals in Louisville in 2016, and that's his 68th goal in USL Championship competitions. That includes the playoffs. 36th minute, and it has been 3 goals in the last 7 minutes between the two teams. Dropping back, Johnson returns. There is that dynamic goal scorer, Hoffman. There's the cross for Hoffman. Kept in play, right! Saved off the line by Lund. Crawling backwards, pulling it from the brink.
What a wonderful save. Smart play from Hoffman. He knew he was in an offside position, made no attempt to play the ball. The goalkeeper concentrates and makes a tremendous save. It truly would have been devastating with 6 minutes to go before halftime to concede again. Ball bouncing up. Craig with the header out. Ball comes back in. And that ball did not cross the line. It was Johnson with the header through. There's Hoffman not making a play on it. There's Wright trying to find out whether it goes across or not. It certainly doesn't. The whole ball has to go beyond the white line. Mike Laverne, the referee, gives a thumbs up to the assistant on this near sideline saying good job. And that is absolutely the right call from the assistant.
Can't win the league in the first month, but you can lose it. 3 weeks in, Birmingham's only played 2 games. There's a long way to go. Ahead by Spencer. Deflected back. There's nothing that isn't still on the table for Birmingham, even if there is some obvious disappointment that they weren't able to take advantage of those first 2 games at home in front of that great crowd at BBVA Compass Field in Birmingham. Bounces out to Jimenez. Plays the early ball, back post, lifted across, off the crossbar, and bounds out.
That was Tosh arriving late, trying to put it back in the mixer, trying to hit the target. And success for Jimenez and Lou City down this near sideline. Bounce is not quite going the way. That ball skipped off the surface as Tosh was coming in.
Donovan, after the first training, basically said, show me what you got. Come show me after practice ways I can improve my finishing, what runs I should be making, and they went on for half an hour, and those little things really do add up. Chandler Hoffman played as a youth and eventually as a pro with the Union under John Hackworth. Whoa, found Omby. Flag was up, and that should send us to halftime. But Hoffman may be the best movement off the ball of any player in USL. Multiple coaches have said that. He's not, Matt, dynamically faster than everybody else. He just knows the game.
And that's a great point. There are 3 types of speed. There's the physical, the technical, and the intelligence. And he certainly doesn't have the top speed physically, but he makes up for it in spades with the intelligence and the technical ability.
Kassim with the first goal in Birmingham history in the 31st. And then Chandler Hoffman, former Louisville man. Home is where the Hoffman is. 36th minute. 5 minutes later, their first ever lead. And Louisville goes to the dressing room, having held a lead for a minute's time. Rasmussen with the goal, ultimately trailing 2-1.
And good job from the assistant on the near sideline to make the decision right. And we went to the locker room 2-1, and that's where we stand as the kickoff for the second half takes place.
2-1 Legion over Louisville. What a moment this could be for Birmingham. Culbertson behind Omby, those two taking a similar approach to follicle care. Culbertson, that could be dangerous, and allowed through to Jimenez by Davis. Jimenez crossing, Spencer, will he get there? Van Oekel has to make the stop. Magnus Rasmussen was approaching the goal line, corner Louisville.
Jimenez calling Davis the 4th off. Nice touch, what a couple of touches that was from Jimenez. The shot probably wasn't.
On the corner, bounces all the way through towards Spencer. And slid back toward Arivo. Launches into the attacking half. McCabe knocked down right. Dancing in. Right onto his left, and in goes Ownby. Corner Birmingham. end-to-end stuff, and Ownby clearly got the worst of that, going in on what amounted to a block with his feet.
The prior contacts that were made with Culbertson.
Well played. It's not persistent infringement if it was never called in the first place.
I didn't see it.
This portion of today's game brought to you by Game On Mouth Guards. And Birmingham looking to add to their 2-1 lead. A flurry of scoring in an 8-minute stretch. Johnson curling for goal. He missed it. Lunt gave that a wave on its way by against a Loudoun side that's a very difficult beginning their franchise expansion into USL Championship. Bounces free to McCabe. McCabe slips ahead, and the cutback by Baki Cham is off of Fisher's back heel. Leading into space, Williams!
Van Okel was interested. That ball looked like it was going to sail high and wide. But then all of a sudden, it dropped out of the sky and almost on the correct side of the crossbar. In the end, it was inches over.
Sure. Hang up in the air. The whistle came late. Lopez crashed in there a bit.
Confusion from Tommy Sohen, wondering why the foul was called, but the whistle goes. Lou City keep possession when they looked like they were going to lose it.
McCabe leading ball. Baki Cham firing across, bouncing in. It deflects in. It's Louisville's equalizing goal. The 81st minute. Sometimes better to be lucky than be good. Some guys have it both.
Baki Cham picks up the ball, takes on the defender, curls it across. Lucky Kasana was in the area in the front of the near post. He doesn't get a touch on the ball, and for the second week in a row, Lou City are the beneficiaries of an own goal, and it was Laurent with the touch off his right knee, past his own goalkeeper. That's unfair to Spencer. He was just trying his hardest to get into the box, to get anything on the ball. Wasn't able to deliver the touch that was needed.
Substitution brought to you by MHS Global, above and beyond. There is a tactical shift as well. That in a moment. Spencer Jimenez! Yawning net. And he fires it well high.
Could have taken the shot. McCabe delivering a wonderful pass. The pressure from Turner forced Spencer to put the ball out wide. And Jimenez, again, just too careful. We've seen it all game long from the Lou City players.
Half an hour later, another setback. Eventually closing in on 9 o'clock Eastern. The game postponed to 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central this morning. Arriving at the stadium shortly after 7 Central, 8 Eastern. And immediately put on a show for the fans that came back with the tickets. Were still good today as they were last night.
I would certainly argue it was worth waiting for. It's been a good performance by both teams.
Service didn't get over the first line of defense. Lobbed over the top. Right! Brian Wright, brilliant finish. Birmingham leads, final minutes. Is this their first three-point performance?
Confusion, disappointment, celebration from Wright. Watching the ball, falling asleep right at the back post. Lunt with no chance. Collects it beautifully. And then on the half turn, puts it home. A composed finish. He shushes The crowd behind the goal.
Coming into MLS and playing a bit with Tulsa in 2017 in the championship. He scored last September against NYCFC in a 1-0 win. On loan from the Revs, making a significant impact. Ball slipped through, flag stays down. McCabe can't put that on frame.
How big is that Jimenez miss? Now, this was a lovely ball played through by Jimenez.
One more and they can seal the 3 points. Uh-oh, falling down on the field. Mbaki Jam pushing forward by Avila. Firing it across, Emko Sana's there. Settles, fires, and deflects straight back. Maybe now Opoku's got room to run. Working on a broken floor. Opoku holding still. Herivo's come forward. Johnson popped away. Lund. Herivo's still on it. Jimenez, who switched off to the right. Francis's substitution following him toward the corner. If Louisville finds a point here, you'll point to that save by Lund as the difference maker. And on 420, they host Swope Park, a team that was in the playoffs a year ago. McCabe, big slide, Lopez. It's Davis, and play finally pittered out, and it'll come back for a foul at the edge of the 18.
We knew who would be taking this if he was on the pitch. He's no longer a member of the team.
Well, they've got a quorum. Francis and Mbaki Jam are going to be the ones that eventually are going to settle this. It'll be the rookie or the team's veteran outside back. Sean Francis! It's going to go wide. Van Okel gave it a dive. Never threatened him.
Well, from the angle, you would have thought it would have favored a right-footed shot from Mbaki Jam. That was a well-taken free kick, just drifting wide of the frame. Francis getting it up over the wall and down the other side, but just dragging his foot over the top of the surface of the ball.
American was the answer for North Carolina right off the bat. A win here, Birmingham would certainly feel that they've arrived. Lund. The ball never came to a stop. Headed down into space. Davis not able to get it further forward. Williams. Well, this has the makings of something at least. Jimenez. Header! It's just over the top from Davis. And that may secure it for Birmingham.
Well, that was the moment. Fortunate, I think, Lou City, because Lund's ball was moving. He was forced to retake the goal kick. Then sent it long. The ball made its way out to Jimenez. The cross was the right one. The header was not.
They've waited long enough in Birmingham. First win in Legion franchise history. Unseating the champion on their home ground.